For those that are new to my channel, I've been sharing my spiritual healing journey, all of which I've documented in my books and many, many videos. And lately, I've been feeling a bit down. I've been feeling a bit rough, very despondent. Lost a lot of, well, I wouldn't say faith, but just a lot of hope at times because life can bring you down. It can a lot of weight, And I think when things seem to be just to breaking you rather than making you, I say you can lose an awful lot of hope and to get caught in the despair and the struggle. My mind is sometimes tormented. Like yesterday, it just felt like I was getting pulled in something. My mind just pulled in so many different directions. I was like, it was almost like bringing me on my knees. I'm walking slower. I'm just despondent. But again, that's often by the weight I put on myself, the high expectations I have of myself and of my life. It's not one thing; it's a culmination of. But I don't lose hope or faith. I know what's coming. That's why I share so much of myself. I share the tarot readings I do, most of which I shouldn't be sharing. Sometimes they're so personal they shouldn't be short. They shouldn't be shared. But I document everything, so my life isn't really governed the same way most people's are. I know a lot of my destiny is to document and journal. So where most people say keeping your life private, I can't do that. In the future, I'd love to, and I hope I can. But at the moment, I know I'm not supposed to, so I don't. But again, then I overshare. There's an issue. But I'm so transparent and open, people get to see the ins and outs, And I think, for me personally, like I said, I'm here to document. For me personally, I think it's incredibly important that people see the lows as much as the highs, You can't just go around showing people all the success, all the great things that are happening. You have to, it's just as important to show the low moments. And in all honesty, even yesterday, I'm like to the universe, I just want to tap out. I've had enough. It's getting too heavy. It's too much, Because in my life at the moment, I have very little in the way of happiness. But I'm incredibly proud of myself and what I've achieved. I relocated 100 miles back in 2020. So it's 3.5 years ago. And I'm so far away from family. I tend to keep friendships out in workplaces. So in terms of personal friendship, don't really have many. I know a lot of people, but yeah, I'm very much like independent. I'm very much in my own space. So like when I'm in family around me, that's my team, if you like. Suffered with a separation from my daughter back in 2017. It was family court for 1.5 years, my worst hell on earth. So even through this dark period of my life at the moment, it really, I know deep down it doesn't even compare to what I've been through in the past. It's just you think you're on a upward trajectory, everything's going great, there's so much positivity, so much hope, so much success since, and then boom, reality check. But I know this is like a transformation. I know it's like a holding pattern before the change, before the next chapter of my life begins, which is going to be beautiful. And again, it's it's sharing that transformation, like a butterfly, So I always know deep down if I can overcome that, then I can achieve this. So the family court and the trauma that was involved within all of that, which was incredibly hard. I was falsely accused of things. I documented everything as clear as I could in my book, A Father's Daughter, which then progressed me on my writing journey. So I've now done 5 books. I've got a few books that may come out this year. Usually I do one a year, but this year could be 3 or 4 if I put my mind to it. I've done 2 self-help healing books as well, which will really help people just in general, perspective on life, patterns we live by and all this sort of society. It was a book I was going to write this year, but I've realised I've got so many chapters, I'm going to do 2 books for that. I've got another spiritual book and a third in my Father's Daughter series. But within my life at this present moment, it's just so many things on top of another, The biggest thing for me is love and romance. And again, I keep saying I know my divine counterpart, and I know that puts pressure on them if they ever see what I'm saying. and it's frustrating because I don't want that. I want people to be happy. I want people to live their own life. I want people to be on their own journey. I want them to do what they want to do and be happy in that direction. But I know of my counterpart, so that makes it harder for me as well, because it means I can't really, as much as I would love to just move forward and people make their choices, you make your choices, blah blah blah. I know what's meant for me, and I know that's what's meant for me, and we have to sometimes wait for those things. And I'm not the most patient of people sometimes. For those not on a spiritual journey, or they don't believe in any of that, I don't want to push anything on anyone, so please ignore what I'm going to say. Those that are open to spirituality or are on a spiritual journey, I had a channeling session back in November, December. I found out an awful lot of my destiny, purpose, the support of my angels, what's foretold. I have something substantial in this lifetime. Effectively, things are going to happen when they're supposed to happen. I'm making timelines to push forward because I'm such a go-getter, which is going to make it more uncomfortable for me because there's a lot to learn as well, and I'm fast forwarding too fast. It's like on a on a video play, fast forward, and it was confirmed about my divine counterpart soulmate. I asked specifically. They didn't want me to dwell on it. They wanted me to focus on my spiritual journey, my development. It was a crucial period of my life. They did say, if you start going down this route of focusing on love at the moment, it's going to derail you, and it's going to cause you there'll be consequences. They wouldn't say what the consequences were, but there would be. Of course, my mind continued down the love route. And I asked specifically, is this person my person? Because I know they are, but I know they are. But let's ask this: are they my person? This was for someone else, was channeling spirit, no angels. They said they could be, but let's focus on this. And then I kept pushing it, and they said, "Why do you always push things? Why can't you just accept what we give you, and that be enough?" So again, I kept pushing. Because my personality, I want to know everything, every little thing. In the end, my guides confirmed that they adore my person. They are compatible with me. They are effectively my person. Then we connected with their guides, and they were reluctant to get involved at this moment because I think they want this journey, and it's important. Obviously, each guide has their own person's best interests at heart, and it was like they're going through their own things at the moment. They've got to work through. But I kept pushing and pushing, and in the end, they confirmed that yes, you two are meant to be. And it was like marriage and all this stuff, and it was like, that's nice. So then, of course, when you come out of that, you're going, yay, yes. I knew I was right. I knew I weren't crazy. But of course, the bubble bursts when you realise that's not really possible right now. So you're kind of like in this holding pattern, and I find that more frustrating than anything because it's like when you know. But again, I hate the idea of putting pressure on people, and I do want them to live their own life. So it's like a conflict with me. I don't want to break anyone's relationships up. That's not me. So my life's on hold, and I'm frustrated like a crazy person. I left a job back in September. It was crap, to be honest. Paid me really well. It was a lot of broken promises within that job that they did. They never held up to their bargain or anything, but it was good pay. So I've been frustrated with this as well because life's been hard financially since. Again, we did ask through the channeling, was I supposed to leave? And they said yes. It wasn't doing you any good. So I get in a lot of conflict over this with my guides. I'm like, this is ridiculous. You put me in a worse financial situation than I was at the time. I understand for a reason, but I don't really understand. I'm not seeing the results at the moment, So there is that. So there's a frustration in love. There's a frustration in home life because I'm so far away from people. Career, finances, it's quite unbearable at the moment. I'm not really seeing the success of all the creations I've done, all the work I've put in. So I get resentful of that too. I'm like, what is the point of me doing this if there's no audience for it? Now I'm going to get on point because I know it's going to take me a while. I am aware of why. Really deep down, I know why. So I'm a very self-reflective person. I have my little pity party, my little hissy fits, and I will feel down for a good few days, perhaps even a week or so. I will feel heavy, the weight of life on me, almost like someone's just sitting on my head and pushing me down, and it's like that's what it feels like. And that's sincere. That's like real suffering, like where I get incredibly resentful, frustrated. I feel like life's lost all meaning. Like I've done it. I've fulfilled everything I came here to do. Like tap me out. That's how I feel sometimes. And I'm not even a quitter. But even in this situation, I'm feeling like if this is the end where I'm not going to see any more success, for instance, we may as well call it quits. I've done a lot already. I've overcome a lot. I've shared my journey. So what I'm realizing is a lot of what I say can seem a bit much for many people, especially at the moment. But like I said, I'm here to document and journal my story and my journey. And I know there'll be a day when people are more open to what I'm saying. It won't seem abrasive, and they'll be open to learning and exploring. And I think at that point, everything I've laid the foundation for will make sense more to people then. And so it's important that in this present moment, I continue doing what I've been doing because it will help people when the time is right. So sometimes we're ahead of our time and it can seem like it's pointless. You're not getting the views, you're not getting the engagement, it's not getting traction because at the moment it's not supposed to. When it's supposed to, it will do. But for now, all I can do is just keep trying and share my journey and hope the right people see it and it heals them and helps them. Like I said, I've got more books to do. I have to do that in the middle of this storm of chaos in my life where I don't have the family life I crave. I don't have the love of my life. So my daughter's not here either. Finances are tight as hell. I'm not doing anywhere near the career I'd want to do. Yeah, life's just really hard. And I think January is the epitome of this. It's just like everything in one. Let's take everything away from him and see how he copes sort of month. That's what this is. And honestly, it's brought me down a lot. But I always rise up from the ashes like a phoenix, I'll get down just like everybody else. But I always start to see with clarity and then I fly, then I lift up. And then I ascend again and go, right, let's get this. Let's do this. Like I said, there's multiple books this year. I've only ever done one usually in a book in a day in a year. If I do more than one, then that's progress in itself. To do multiples, that's crazy. To me, that's crazy. But we'll see how the year progresses. I just feel it's really important that we share our journeys from, like I say, from the highs and the lows. It's otherwise you build in a false image of the journey of life. And I think the healing journey, it doesn't do justice to the healing journey if we're not transparent. One day people will see me in a far different situation. And that those that have followed my journey or had even a peek into it will know I've suffered, baby. I've suffered. But hopefully when I'm doing well, it will give people hope that, wait a minute, he was there, man. He was there. But now look, he's up there. He's doing well for himself. Everything's changed. So if he can do that, then I can do that. And that's kind of what it's all about, isn't it? Like I say, I share far more of myself than I honestly should. And sometimes I resent it myself. Like, I share my tarot readings that don't get many likes, because why would they get likes? But again, that's me showing and validating to people. These are the signs I'm getting from spirit. They are saying this is what is coming. Those cards, most of the time, just fly out so quick, it's unreal. It's just ridiculous. Like yesterday's ones I did about what I need to know in finances. Those cards were just flying out like crazy. That's why the spreads were so big. The cards just wouldn't stop flying out, but they were flying out in patterns of like 5 or 6 cards at a time, So I was like, all right, we'll do this as a spread then, so I can see the pattern. It's like a timeline. This is what's going to happen. There. So there's going to be a little bit of a high. There's going to be lows. There's going to be dips. Even when you're doing well, there might be a little dip here and a dip there. It's almost like humble yourself. Always be learning. Always be a student. Even when you know everything, there's always something new to learn. But you are wise. You are wise. You are strong. You've got this. You're a leader, and it's almost like lead by example. Because my ego can get the best of me. I did a video recently where I said about my ego, I know how great I am. I know what I can do. But in that instant, I don't regret it. Most people would have deleted that video. I won't delete nothing. It's me. I am in sometimes I do know how great I am. In fact, I often do know how great I am. I humble myself to make others comfortable. And it's the best way to be, isn't it? Of course it is. But sometimes I think you've got to say, look, this is how great I am and I know what I can do. And I'm not going to let people silence me. Or I'm not going to make people think make me feel small, because that's what people do. They try to take that glow away from you and deplete that confidence. Um, as suppression. So what I was showing in that video was that I cannot be suppressed. I can calm down a little bit and I can humble myself. But don't ever feel that the fire in me doesn't it goes out, because deep down that's how I am, and I will fire that out when I have to. So believe me, I know what I can do. Um, and that's that fire's lit, baby. I am all guns blazing. So like I said, I can do my books, I can do these videos, I can do an awful lot. I'm good at expressing myself, communicating, telling my story. And that's a skill within itself. Most people can look on and think, I can do that, I can do that, I can do that. And then when the camera's in front of them, they go camera shy. Don't know what they're doing. Don't know what they're talking about. Because it's easy to copy someone when you've got a script, isn't it? I haven't got no script. There's nothing here. There's nothing here. It's just me, I ain't this little old me with a stupid little ring camera to try and make the lighting a little bit better. And I just talk off the cusp. You may see me in videos looking this way and this way. That's just me looking in a direction to think. There's nothing there. There's nothing there. I have an idea and I go, right, I've got to talk about this. And hope I don't forget something, in all honesty. I'll have like maybe a little thing. It's a bit like when I started this video. I just knew I had to talk about the finances, the love interest, the fact that I don't have the life I want at the moment quite yet. I'm so far away from family. And as long as I covered that, I was like, I'll do good. And I just had to try and remember to fit it all in. So a lot of me pulls towards my mum. My mum's my saving grace. She's like I wrote in my book, A Heartbroken Daughter, she's my wings when I need to fly. Almost like she's my guardian angel. I'm very lucky and fortunate to have her, in all honesty. She helps me when times are tough. She's there. And I feel like, honestly, I haven't said that to her, but I do feel a big role of her life. And that's not minimizing anyone's journey. I just know how big mine is. I'm confident she's here to support me on mine. And it goes beyond that. Let me just say this, because I don't want to sort of like make it seem like the whole world caters to me. That's not what I'm saying. But I've recognized and noticed that she's a big part of my journey. So the success I have is in a huge part by her too. But what it is, I get a lot of signs about breaking generational karma. I am the chain breaker, which is why I'm going through a world of shit, but I keep pushing forward. And I've apparently broken those karmic patterns. And there will be generational wealth. I'll lay the foundation for the new bloodline. And I thought that's quite interesting, because my daughter's very gifted. I'm not going to go into hers, as for her to tell one day, or maybe I'll share a little bit later, but not at this stage of her life. But any success I have, she will be directly impacted. Especially financially, but also doors opening and all sorts of things, and it gives her abilities to step into confidently into her gifts. She can explore that. The door's already been open for it, whereas I've had to learn later in life. Now, you go, okay, that makes sense. Generational karma, you've broken that, so help them. But I'm recognizing something else. My stepdad died in 2017 during family court. Early stages of family court. He already had cancer for about 5 years, leading up to that. But stress can destroy anyone's health, and I think someone that's already has a low vitality. I think that was a stretch too far, to be honest, because it was rapid. The decline was rapid after. And sometimes I think when people go, we wonder what our purpose is. Why do we get left behind? And I think my mum struggles with that sometimes, although she's a fighter like me, so she just gets on with it. She goes on holiday, she enjoys life the best she can. But I look on and think, there's a purpose to everything. When our time is up, our time is up. There's a point to that. When we've got nothing else to learn, nothing else to contribute really, we finished our life cycle. It's fine. You've achieved whatever you come here to do, or the timeline's ended. It's time to go back to source. We'll have a life review. We'll transition into the next stage of our journey in spirit. That's the beauty of it all. So we don't have to be terrified of death. So again, when I look at my mum, I think how comes most partners don't last that long after sometimes, unless they've got something to fulfill. And I thought about it recently. I thought, not only this is it. This is, again, it's not me minimizing someone's life or journey. I've noticed she's a huge part of the support system for me. I don't have, in all honesty, anyone else. So I'm very fortunate, and I know I'm blessed to have her, when many people don't. But there's a purpose to it, And then I thought, let's say I become wealthy in this lifetime, and you've broken generational karma, you've laid the foundation for new bloodlines now, and that will start with my daughter, of course. But wouldn't it be great for the ancestral line if the generation before me not only got to see it, but got to experience it too? So when they transition back to spirit, I'll get goosebumps, I know it's true, I thought it was anyway. When they go back to spirit, that bloodline that change has already happened. I'm getting immense goosebumps right now. That is crazy. I knew I was on it. I knew I was right. So my mum sometimes wonders, I can tell, she wonders why she's still here. And I think that's what it is. She's supporting me, she's blessed, and I will bless her big time for that. That's not something I'll ever forget. So if I get fame, which I'm not too fussed about, and I get wealth and a better life, she'll get to experience that too. So in this lifetime, she's gone from, poverty, struggle, improving her life, giving us the opportunity for a better life to an extent, ups and downs and whatnot. But then by the end, hopefully gets to see or get to live a life of luxury, far more than we've had. It's like, I wouldn't say like her life's been like, a later life has been struggle, but it's not been, it's self-made for a point. It's still got to work hard for that. It'd be nice when she can stop, I think, and then live a bit more luxurious, and I'd love to be able to do that for her. And if that is a blessing, isn't it? And I think that's why she's still here, to witness it. And that's beautiful. Again, I know it looks like I'm centering my life, centering it around me, but perhaps in some ways I am. But only because I know my prophecy, I know my destiny. And I'm pretty sure most psychics, not everybody, because I believe that sometimes we're protected from certain things. If you're destined for something big, I don't think our guides will tell all the other guides, if you like. I think some things are left it's a bit like Secret Services. The Secret Service in the angel realm. If you're destined for something, they may not tell everybody. My guides may not liaise and tell the other guides. So like someone may try and do a reading on me and they may not know my purpose. Or they may do a reading on me and realize, this guy, he's talking sense and he's saying exactly what he's saying. Most people in my position wouldn't say it. They would like to take all the glory for themselves and gatekeep. Whereas I don't do that. I share my journey. I unravel the mystery of life. I document everything. And I continue on my journey. And that's the thing. Everything I do is time-stamped. All the videos I've done, you'll see the ups and downs. You see it in my books. All my books, they're going to be time-stamped. So when I say this is going to happen or I see this, bear in mind, that's in my book. Everything I've said is in my book. The person who I say is my divine counterpart, that was already prophesized. And in my recent book, Inspire Your Mind to Enlighten Your Soul, the second chapter from last, I wrote a heartbreak chapter. And I specifically mentioned this person because we hadn't spoken at that point, I think, for nearly a year. We'd gone our own ways to an extent, our own little life journey. I returned to TikTok, we reconnected, and like I say, life got in the way a little bit there. And it's derailed it. It's derailed a journey, I guess. But I've documented all that. And then if you go back, that's obviously last year, 2023. If we go back to 2019, I released A Father's Daughter in 2019. That was my first book. Within that, there was a psychic reading, and I had this woman just kept saying this name. Now, it's not exactly the same name, but I'm sure she said a few names. But because I didn't record it, it was only from memory, so I documented the best I could when it came to writing. But when she was saying names, I wouldn't be surprised if this name came up. But either way, the letter was correct. The first letter in the name and the double letters in the middle and all this, that's all come true. And other things have come true. Then I've gone on and documented. There's a medium I met a year later who was channeling my stepdad who'd passed over. And again, I've documented some of that in my next book, A Heartbroken Daughter, which had nothing to do with spirituality, but I incorporated it in it because that's when my spiritual journey started, back in 2020. So later in 2020, by September, that's when my spirituality just took off. Manifestation was a real thing for me, which I didn't even know anything about. I was craving a new home, away from a flat. I wanted a house. And boom, within a couple of months, actually within a week or so, I got offered an opportunity for a house, which seemed crazy because I thought that'd be like at least 10 years away, if not a lifetime. And I got it in a week, an opportunity, and then the move happened maybe 3 months later. That's crazy. So then after that, during that period, I'm getting all these signs and synchronicities, and then I'm getting all these things happening in my life, and it was just getting crazy. And then it was prophesied I'd meet someone, and you'll create something together, something remarkable. You'll have a career in like religion or spirituality, which I don't know what you're talking about. At the time, I just thought that's crazy. What the hell? How's that my destiny? Lo and behold, look what's happened. And it said you'll meet someone. And then in December, I met someone out of the blue. And then we co-wrote a book together. But then years later, just a few months ago, in fact, it should never have been a collaboration. It should just been it should have only been my name, and there's a lot that was in it was wrong. There's a lot of ego involved from the other party and a lot of wrong information. So I had to go back and re-edit the book and then get confirmation from the angels whether it's okay to republish, which I know sounds crazy, honestly. I know it does. Honestly, that's what happened. So a psychic medium is the one that channeled all that for me. They said they wanted it removed immediately, which I did. They did confirm you have free will, it's your choice, but I thought, why would you say no to the angels? That makes sense. So I took it down. Then I re-edited it. Then I asked, is the book okay to republish as it is? They said no. I was asking for my tarot cards. It was so clear. I have a yes and no card in my tarot I assigned, and they very rarely give me answers with yes and no. They usually give me a negative or positive card, and their ones are quite obvious. But the yes and no, if them cards come out when I ask, that's significant, and that's what it's for. It's to make a powerful statement to you. And I've got a no, and I was like, shit. And then I realised there were certain sections that shouldn't be in the book. And when I figured that out, I said, should I remove them? And it was like, yes. So I removed those chapters. Then I asked again, is this ready to republish? And it was no. And I was like, I'm confused. Why? And I was like, wait a minute. I've left a chapter that should have come out. So I took that out. Then I've said, right, is it okay to republish? And they said yes in the cards. I was like, finally, Jesus. And at the same time, around that time, they did say you will likely go and re-edit your other books. I thought, why would I edit the other books? Then I went through the other books and I realised there was a lot of references of the stuff that was taken at the previous book. I was like, oh shit, I have got to go back and re-edit them. So then I'm asking, is this one all right? And it was like, no. And then it was like, well, the next time I'd ask, and it was like, debatable. It's going to cause you some friction. It's up to you. And I think at that point I was like, yeah, we'll keep it in. I don't mind a bit of friction. You know what I mean? I'm not here to sort of pander to people. If as long as we're good, I'm have it. But yeah, and then later on, a week later, he had this psychic medium had a channeling session, and he said that the angels were incredibly proud of you. They said it took an awful lot of courage to removing the book and re-editing it and doing what you did, and they're looking forward to watching the book grow now. They did say as well, because at one point I made a trilogy book where I combined a load of books to make a trilogy. And they said to me, never do that. Never do that. Always, you deserve to be rewarded financially for the work you've done. So always sell your books singly. Do not lower the quality of your work or the opportunity to make money. Do not do that. So never do it as a trilogy book. I thought that was quite insightful because I didn't think about that. I love having a big, substantial book, so I thought that would be good. But I get what they're saying because people only ever see it as one book, so it does minimise the value of it all. Um, yeah, there's a lot of my journey that I'm struggling to remember offhand. 'Cause like I said, I don't make notes. I'm trying to remember offhand here. Um, but it's been an incredible journey for me. I have documented it. I am continuing to document. Um, People will learn a lot from my current books, but just know there's more to come. Um, like I said, I have my incredibly low moments. Believe me, I'm on my knees. Even yesterday, I was like so fed up, and I feel sorry for myself sometimes, and that's a genuine sorry for myself. I get really pissed. I get really fed up with my angels and everything. I just say I don't understand the point of this. I'm a good person. This was what I was saying last night. Even I said I'm a good person. So why am I continually suffering? Why am I always the one with nothing? Why always take everything away from me? And why give me hope and then just pull it all away from me? Why should I suffer to this point? It doesn't make sense. If I'm a good person and I've done good things, why am I not seeing the success to that? There's no point to any of this. And I was saying this. I said, look, I don't care about viewing numbers and stuff, but there's still no point if there's no audience. What's the point of me creating content that doesn't get recognised? What's the point of me writing books that no one's even reading? And then I get signs that success is coming, and I'm like, where's the success going to come from? None of it makes sense. So sometimes I'm putting myself in situations that I'm thinking that's where the success will come, so I better stay doing that. In my mind, I'm like, I don't even know where it's coming from. But again, they like to keep us on our toes, and they don't want us knowing everything. I have no idea where this success is coming from, but all I know is it's coming, and I have absolute confidence in it. But again, it doesn't help. This is my worst month. It doesn't help me now because they're not helping. It's not now. But yeah, I know what's coming. I just don't know how it's coming or why it's coming. If that makes sense. I don't know if it's because of the videos I create. I don't know if it's for my website. I don't know if it's for my books. I don't know if someone sees something from somewhere else. I don't know if someone... I just don't know where it comes from. And it frustrates the life out of me because I'm someone that likes to know everything. And I think in this situation, again, our angels know everything about us. They know I overshare. They know I'm an overthinker, and I'll do everything I can to think of the puzzle pieces. And I'll end up driving myself crazy to madness with it, to be honest. And I'll get frustrated, and it'll bring me down because then I lose hope. If I can't figure out the pieces to the puzzle, I start to lose hope and get really fed up. They know that. So they also know that we have to be down before we can shine as well. So there's a lot of trauma and shadow work to go through, So we have to keep transforming and healing. And sometimes we have to suffer to sort of bring ourselves back to life, find purpose, perspective again. And sometimes they have to leave us to suffer to sort of get to that stage. It's like a rebirth, renewal. And I recognize that, but goddamn, those moments are hard. They're hard on the whole entire being. Like I said, it brings me to my knees, and I get to the point where I'm like, I'm ready to tap out if you want to let me. Do you know what I mean? When I say that, that's not me. I'm not going to say it, but I'm not like one of them people. I'm not someone that would hurt myself. It's more a case of I know we're here for a purpose. I know we have so we're here for a reason. There'll be a time when we're not. What we've done is enough, and then you can leave. That's what I'm saying. So what I'm saying is I wouldn't actually harm myself to leave this earth. But if I've done what I'm here to do and they give me permission to go, then I'm ready to go. That's kind of what I'm saying to them. So if my mission's finished, let me leave. And then they're in charge of that. So yeah, just to give context to that, I'm not a morbid person. I'm not going to sort of do anything silly. I don't get to that point. As low as I get, I don't get to that point. It's more a case of if I can tap out, let me beam me up, Scotty. It's just returning home, and I think too many people are terrified of the end. And it's like for me, it's just a natural progression. It's like we do this many lifetimes. It's nothing new. But that's why it's important we make the most of life. Don't lose sight of it and do all this. Do things that send you so wayward you're not achieving what you actually came here as a divine calling. We all came here for a purpose, and it's figuring out and aligning with that purpose, and then You're literally doing what you came here for, and then you don't have mistakes. It's all embracing the journey. Again, I document all this in my books. It's like, don't lose yourself to this world. That's a sad state, because this world holds us prisoner. I don't want to go too far in this, because I'm documenting this in my new book, and I've already done videos on it. So I don't want to go too far in a way of that, of state control and societal imbalance. This is long. This is a long video. I tend to do 10-minute videos, but I'm learning to do things in parts now. Not that I can be bothered sometimes. Sometimes I still throw out the 10-minute video. This has been a lot longer, considering I wasn't going to do any more content for a while. But again, I'm an oversharer. I had a moment today, and I just thought I want people to understand the low moments. I really do. I want them to understand that it's not a level of just self-pity. It's the culmination of so much hard work that when you don't see results, eventually it doesn't seem fair, especially when you're prophesied great things. It's like, why am I taking 10 steps back every time I'm supposed to go forward? I don't see the logic in this. It doesn't make sense. If good things are coming, why am I then thrown a million miles backwards before I can go forward again? Where's the sense in that? But yet the psychic medium I was chatting to before, we'd gone our separate ways, we had a little disagreement, and they said to me that Spirit's saying your journey is going to get more challenging now. They absolutely love and adore you, and they will support you through this. And I think a couple of days before that, I was doing tarot cards, and I had the tower come out, and I said to him, "What's why I got the tower? That's weird." He said, "Well, something's going to change for you. I don't know what it is." And then boom, we had a disagreement a few days later, and we just went our separate ways. And it's like, shit, that's what he was saying. He said it was going to get challenging, and boom, I got this freaking tower card. And has my life not got challenging since? It's been a living hell. I'm in purgatory at the minute. It's like, this is a nightmare. Again, things are there to make us, not break us. It may very well be that this pattern I'm in at the minute is to humble me. Because I have been told this a few times as well, that I'm very much in my logic mindset. And I need to sort of tap more into my emotional side and humble myself a little bit. But it's more tap into that emotional side so I can help people in that regard. And that was something I was sort of like pushing past. I was like, I don't need all that. I've done all my healing. And now look at me. I'm in a mess. I mean, I'm not showing it now, but believe me, yesterday I was I was getting really frustrated. And I know I think that's what they're doing with me as well, is get the emotional side really and balance me. Because effectively, I am a leader. And I asked that because I'm a leader in the future. I said, am I a leader now? Am I the abilities? And they said, yes. You have the leader. You have the wisdom and everything to lead, but you don't have that emotional connection at the moment to be the ultimate leader, because most leaders don't. And that was what they would. I think that's what they've been trying to teach me, to be honest. There's a lot. Like I said, there's so much prophesized for me. I know that it is a leadership. It's sharing my voice. What I know of in terms of my psychic gifts, because some have told me what will come for me. But my biggest talent on this earth, obviously, is my communication. I would say that's very strong, but it's actually my knowledge, my wisdom. I've been told I have so much knowledge in me, and most of it is untapped. Apparently, I'm running at like 5%. So there's still and they said more on the spiritual side, which means later on I'll be able to, I'm guessing it makes sense if I'm only running at like a short amount, I will unlock and go on a more deeper journey, and I'll be able to channel. I'm 5%. You would argue if I'm channeling, maybe the Akashic Records worth looking into that. That's sort of like the story. That's like the library of our entire existence. It would show our past lives, everybody's past lives. It's so much information within that. Even ancient, things that happen. So that's going to be exciting for me if I'm to unlock that in this lifetime. I am a divine soul, and it's like I have a purpose and a legacy, which means I'm going to go through a world of shit too. I'm going to go through the hardships others face, but I'm expected to overcome it quite quickly, transform it, transcend it, continue to grow and heal, go through some more shit. Effectively, I'm living multiple lifetimes in one lifetime. And it's a challenge in itself, but for every progression is another stage unlocked, if you like. And it's aligning with that divine being. As that divine being, it's pretty exciting. It can come across egotistical, and like I said earlier, sometimes it is. Sometimes it is. Depends what side of me I want to bring out. I can be feisty. I can be strong and resilient. I can be humble, sincere, emotional. Always honest. Always transparent. Always myself, and I am never regretful about that because I am who I am. So no one can ever come at me and say, "Well, I know this about you." Great, because I've already freaking told everybody. I am who I am, motherfucker. Do you know what I mean? I don't care. It's like I've always said this before. If anyone ever tried to hold me to ransom for anything, I don't care, man. I'm not here to hide anything. So you can't pull that shit with me because I don't care. Who we are is who we are. What we did and what we ultimately went through is what molded us into who we are today. You're gonna have your low moments. You're gonna have your frustrations. You're gonna have different stages of. You can't live a life perfect in a world that's chaotic and negative. It's not gonna happen. You're gonna have your lows and you're gonna have your highs. You're gonna transcend, hopefully, and overcome, heal, and start following a divine calling and journey. But you're still going to have those moments that test the shit out of you. You're going to have challenges. It's not all going to be fairy tales and rainbows. And I think we need to get past that expectation. I'm not walking this earth pretending to be pure. I am just me, though, and I'm always authentic and I have integrity. And those are my biggest values. I believe in justice and fairness. Like I said, integrity means everything to me. So I'm always honest and transparent. Even if people don't want to hear something, I'm going to say it. It's been a journey so far, and I know the next stage is going to be far more different. So, like, the first half of my life is all about learning, experiencing. It's going to go, when I say that, I mean, like, literally experiencing the worst shit you can imagine. And then the second half will be retelling that journey, but getting to live more of a luxurious life. Like, it's almost like a blessing and a reward. And I'm not on the precipice of that blessing and reward. But before I get that, they're bringing me to my knees and humbling me before I get that. Say, don't you ever forget what you've been through, the hardships, and lose sight of the value of what is to come. I think I'm still that. I can see all the beauty in that, even though it's a world of shit at the moment. But like I say, it's a journey, and I do have my lows as well as my highs. And I'm just living this experience just like others. Always looking to learn more, always evolving, transcending a circumstance, seeing the beauty in life, even when it seems like life is a lost cause. I still always recognize there's more to come, there's more to learn, there's more to experience. And important, I don't lose sight of that. Like, why am I here? What is my purpose? It goes beyond these tediums, it goes beyond these frustrations, these self-pity moments. It goes beyond that, because that's not, forget that side of things. It's like, just get back on course to what you was here to do. Keep growing, keep transcending, document your journey. That's what you're here for. Just get on with it. And sort of like, I learned along the way, really focus more on what you can control rather than what you can't. There's no point overdwelling and overcomplicating things. You can't have this, you can't do that, blah, blah, blah. Then don't worry about that for a minute. Let's focus on what you can do. There's no point beating yourself up either. You might as well just enjoy yourself. So enjoy the ride, enjoy the journey. Even if it seems like it's breaking you, it won't last forever. Like I say, I believe everything that's prophesized. I believe all the signs I get. So why beat myself up when I know in a few months to a year, everything will be different anyway? I have no doubt about any of that. I know what's coming because I've done so many readings on this. It's just a heavy month, and I have to get through this month, and then life will start changing. But yeah, it's been a ride. It's been a journey. I sometimes feel about not sharing the journey because I get really fed up with it all. But I know it's important that I do, and I do my best to share with people. And hopefully they'll go on a healing journey too, and they'll find their divine calling and purpose, and they get to experience some of what I've experienced. The positive side.